We're going to jump right into it and start making this salsa. So you need a cutting board, knife, 2 small tomatoes, a pepper of any color you'd like, 1 jalapeno, 1 small yellow onion, and just 1 clove of this bulb of garlic, and then a handful of cilantro. Once you have all these ingredients washed and ready, we'll start chopping. Before we start chopping anything, we want to make sure that our space is set up. We want 1 bowl to put in our chopped vegetables, and we want another bowl to put in our scraps. We want to make sure our cutting board is clear at all times, so that way when we're cutting, there's nothing else in our way. When you're using a knife in the kitchen, always make sure that you have adult supervision with you. All right, so I'm going to get started and teach you some tricks. Make sure you always have a firm grip on your knife, and you want to keep your wrists straight. When you have a vegetable that rolls around a lot, you want to make sure that the first cut you make is going to make that vegetable flat. So on this tomato, we're going to be cutting across right next to the stem. We're using a bare claw to firmly hold down the tomato and then cutting down straight, and then always making sure our workspace is clear. Now that we have this flat edge, we can put that on the cutting board and the vegetable will not roll around. And we're going to continue to cut around until we have smaller chunks. Because tomatoes hold a lot of water, it can make them very squishy and then hard to cut. So make sure you're really being careful and going slowly when you chop. If you see in this video that I'm going quickly, it's just because I sped it up and it's not actually how fast I'm going. The recipe I'm following calls for all the vegetables to be diced, which means we're going to cut it into pieces as big as the top of your finger. So just take your time to make sure all of the pieces of this tomato are even and are very small before you put them into the bowl. Here you can see me chopping the rest of the vegetables. For the pepper, I just cut off the top, pull out the seeds, and then cut it long ways and then in the opposite direction. I want all of these pieces to be about the size of the top of my finger, and they all should be even. Here I'm cutting half an jalapeno. You can put 1 whole jalapeno if you want. These pieces are going to be very small, so just take your time and go slow and make sure that each piece is even. For the onion, I chop off the top, the bottom, cut it in half, take off the skin, and then cut it long ways, and then turn it and cut it in the opposite direction. For my 1 clove of garlic, I peel it and then chop it finely. You want to make sure these pieces are very small so you don't get one big piece of garlic when you eat a scoop of salsa. And lastly, for the cilantro, just cut up everything except for the stem. You can also use a clean pair of kitchen scissors to chop these up as well. For some extra flavor, I'm going to add in the juice from half of a lime. You can also add in 2 tablespoons of regular lime juice. And then I'm going to add in a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And that's it. We have all the ingredients in the bowl. We have our tomatoes, bell peppers, jalapenos, onion, garlic, cilantro, lime juice, and salt. Now we just gotta stir it. All right, look at that. So good. All right, let's try it out. So I just grabbed some chips so I can try this out. And I'm very excited. Oops. Oh no. It's okay, I have more chips. I love to try the things I make because even if they don't turn out good, I feel like I can learn from that. All right, I have a nice big chunk there of crust. Mmm. 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 There are so many different flavors in this. It tastes so good, just the combination. You need to try this at home. You can even modify the recipe if you need to, depending on what you have. But it's delicious, and I highly recommend it. Enjoy. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. I'm Miss Marissa. I'll see you next time.